This FIFA Club World Cup picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at underdogfantasy.com. Promo code PLGP. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Thursday, July the 3rd. We are here to handicap the FIFA Club World Cup quarter-final games, which start tomorrow, which is Friday. Joining me after a solo special last week, he's all the way back. It's already been likened in the chat to Nolan Liam reunion tomorrow, the biggest reunion of the week, Mr. Barry Penaluna. I'll tell you, before we say hello to Barry, I'll tell you what I'm expecting tonight. He joined the stream. I got halfway through a sentence, and then he just started the stream because he didn't even want to hear the end of the sentence. So let's see how Barry Penaluna's doing. Hello, Bat.
It was actually an accident, but once I'd started, I thought there's no point going back now. That would just look untidy. So I didn't mean to cut you off in your prime, but I'm sure I didn't miss anything important.
Your ability to not give a fuck is so admirable. It's absolutely untrue. Like, we hadn't spoken to each other. I mean, I know we're grown men. We don't need to. I hadn't spoken to each other every 10 days. And like I say, I got halfway through the sentence and you were like, no, I'm not listening to the rest of this shit. So anyway, Barry, welcome along. Very good. The chat is live and kicking. I think just at the top of the show, before we do anything, there's a few people mentioned Diogo Jota in the chat. Unfortunate tragedy this morning, really. I know me and Baz go to huge lengths on purpose to not talk about anything serious ever, and because no one needs to hear it. But I think something like today just reminds you that football is only the most important of the unimportant things. And we'll probably leave it at that because we don't need an opinion. But yeah, the chat is live and kicking. Lee is in there with Cree. Ian lights out for not seen him for a little while. Michael is in there as well. And Veins has joined us as well. If you are in the chat, by all means, give us a little hello. Cree's asking, what are the purple crowns? What's he talking about, Baz?
I have no idea.
Anyone know what the purple crowns are?
I'm a bit concerned that
we're going to need more, Cree. Right, so the question, Barry, is how was Berlin? And was there over or under 1.5 episodes of somebody going full potato?
Well, Berlin was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant weekend. Great city. But actually, everyone come through it unscathed. There was nobody needed to be shepherded home, put in a taxi, carried. Nobody lost themselves or forgot who they were or anything like that. I was plenty of drunkenness, lots of it, lots of late nights, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning every night. But surprisingly, everyone was back up and on it again the next day. With the exception of Michael, actually, the first one, I'd arranged a guided tour, a walk-in tour of Berlin, Malcolm, on the first morning. Right. So, we get there on the Thursday evening, we'll have a few beers. The Friday morning is prime for a little bit of tourism in it. So we'll go out at 10 o'clock, and by 1 o'clock, we'll finish in a bar. We'll have a big pork knuckle, a load of beers, and that'll be it. It'll just be beers for the rest of the weekend. Good plan. Perfect. Friday morning, Michael cried out and dropped out of the walk-in tour because he was ill. He threw up, and that was the latest day. I mean, we didn't land till 10 o'clock at night, so we only spent a couple of hours in the boozer. Although, to be fair, we did have the executive lounge at the airport and a flight delay, so we did have quite a few before we got on the plane. But other than that, everyone got through it pretty much okay. I tell you what helped that, we introduced a new feature into the mystery tour. An afternoon nap was
Oh,
rotated in every day. So we were out drinking from midday till around 7 o'clock. Nap, 1 hour. So we got back to the hotel, 7 o'clock, right? You've got an hour, sleep as long as you want, shower if you want, but everyone's ready for 8 or half 8 or whatever it was. And then went back out again, and it worked a treat. Everybody came out feeling revitalized and ready to hit another 8 hours in the boozers. So yeah, that's a feature which will stay for future trips because it done well.
well, you're absolutely talking my language there, Barry. You know that with the afternoon nap. There's nothing better. It's a old school, that sort of thing your dad used to do, like the lunchtime sesh, like in the pub or the club. Sort of Sunday, like 12 till 3, come back, dinner, sleep it off, and then back out 7 till close. Yeah, that's proper old school.
But a couple of other things. I mean, as I say, great city, friendly people, good boozers, reasonably priced, loads of beer gardens. So that was ideal because it was roasting hot. The thing that there was two things, one funny thing and one thing that just blew my mind. Nightclubs. We walk back. The Germans or the Berliners will build a nightclub anywhere. If there's a derelict building, a derelict phone box, they'll turn it into a nightclub and play out some house music or techno music. Anyway, there's a railway goes past our hotel, and at the bottom of the railway, underneath, is like a big concrete pillar, massive big concrete pillar, which is just holding up a railway. But every time we walked past it on an evening, there was music blasting out from up above. And he looked up, and it just looked like a jail cell, but with music banging out and banging out. Oh, this is a bit weird. So I Googled it. Turns out it was a nightclub in this place. The strangest thing about it was, didn't matter what time of day you walked past it, it was banging out music and like steam coming out of the windows. So when I looked at the Google, it opens at midnight on a Friday night, shuts at 5 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, and then it opens up at midnight again, 7 hours later, and stays open until 5 p.m. on Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
Honestly, we got a flight at 2 o'clock Sunday. We walked past, and the place was absolutely bouncing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday. They just go all day. There's some nightclubs there are open literally from Friday night to Monday morning. They don't shut. You can just turn up after your Sunday dinner at 5 o'clock and go listen to a bit of techno music. So that was a bit of a strange one. The funny story is our arrival at the hotel. Now, it was quite late. We'd been out for a few beers. Turned up, goes to the online check-in computer thing. Doesn't work. So we goes to stand at the counter to check in. There's nobody. So we wait ages, about half an hour. This little Chinese kid comes down. He says, "Oh, you come to check in?" I said, "Yeah." He went, "Right." He says, "My systems are down, so I don't know which room's yours. I can't give you a key. I can't actually check you in. So all I can do is just try and find you a room, and then you can check in the morning." I'm like, right. He says, "So I'll have to come way upstairs. I've got the key. I'll open the door. I'll let you in." So it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Chinese lad walks up, knocks on a door, opens the door, and the bloke's just stood there saying, "I've already told you this is my room. Will you stop bringing people to my room?" He must have done this a few times to the same bloke at 1 o'clock in the morning. And so the bloke says, "That's my room, and the one next door is my room. So don't go on that way." Sorry, right. He says, "Oh, God, I've already made a mistake here. Follow me. I know where there is one." But there's 6 of us, yeah. So we're all traipsing along with our bags.
So you're looking for 3 rooms, 3 empty double twins or whatever.
He opens the next room, and there's a couple just in bed. And he's like, "Hello?" And then they're like, "What's going on?" And then he just shuts the door, and he just keeps doing this over and over again, opening up people's rooms. And then he says, "I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to sit downstairs because I'm going to have to knock on every door here to find the empty room." So he left us downstairs. 45 minutes later, he come down, and he had 3 rooms for us. They were 4 floors below where he'd had us originally. He had us on the 8th floor, knocking on doors. So I would have done all of the 8th floor, 7th, 6th, 5th, and eventually got to the 4th floor and found 3 empty rooms. Christ, man, imagine being those people who keep getting waking up every 2 minutes. But the hotel itself was nice. The other part of it, he says, "I've got you 3 rooms now." I says, "Right, I'll have the first one," because I just thought, just get me in a room. He said, "Well, what I will say is the third room is the biggest room." I says, "Right, I'll have the last room then." So chucks the first 2 in. says, yeah, the third room, 4 beds in the third room. I was like, oh, 4 beds. We're living La Vida Loca here. It was a family room. It was a double bed and a bunk bed. So obviously, I'm not sharing my double bed with anyone. So I was just starfished in the double bed, and Kieran spent the full 3 nights in the bottom bunk. So
That's outstanding.
He made out like we were going to be in like the penthouse suite or something like that, with a bigger room and 4 beds. It just turned out it was a bunk bed. But yeah, good trip. Really enjoyed it. Good city.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why Barry's Magical Mystery Tours are really cheap. They're really good value. That's top quality, Baz. I've enjoyed that story a lot. I had loads of half-decent crack I was going to get onto last week, but I feel like you filled up story time there, Barry. Logan's joined us in the chat a little bit. Haven't seen Logan. Welcome along, mate. Nice to have you. Every SGPN podcast on the network is for free. Subscribe to the SGPN feed. Get it wherever you get your podcasts. So I'll tell you one thing, just one thing that made me laugh a lot last week. And it's about we've spoke a little bit about dads, haven't we? Father's Day, being a dad. We talked about your dad. He died, 20 odd years ago now, Baz? What, 20 couple of years ago?
20 years, yeah.
And things like that. And I was at a funeral last Friday, before you went away. It was my friend's mother's funeral. The day before that, my friend's dad's funeral. I wasn't at that, but so a lot of people at the funeral had been double parked on the funerals, had gone 2 and 2 days. My dad had buried our dad on the Thursday, then gone to this other funeral on the Friday, blah, blah, blah. So I was then telling me mother this, because you've got now to talk to your parents. They love funeral chat, the parents, don't they? And she said, oh, well, interestingly enough, my sister, Lindsay, if you remember Mrs. I missing with an I missing, she's decided that my mum and dad, she doesn't know them well enough, and she's panicking about the funerals. I mean, they're still live and kicking. So she's given them both like diaries, purpose-built sort of A4 diaries. And one of them, I know, Baz, it's fucking horrible. This is such a story about blokes and women. One of them says, the story of your life, ma'am, and the story of your life, dad. Well, obviously, my mother's wrote pages and pages and pages, and it gives you little prompts at the top, little questions like, what's your first memory at school? Do you remember this, that, and the other? And she's written pages like Samuel Pepys. Like, she's written, my father, on the other hand, has done what I would do, what you would do, what every bloke in this chat would do. And he's just written no on all the pages. So, have you got any memories from school? No. And he's not even written it underneath. It's like a big old A4 thing. He's left 10 blank lines, then wrote the word no, and then there's 10 blank lines underneath. So right in the middle of the page, he's just wrote the word no on all, apart from one page, Barry. And this fucking cracks me up, and I'm not sure why. The question at the top says, did you have any dances at school? And of course, my mother's wrote, oh, yes, well, we used to have an end of term dance, and me and Elaine first went in 1963, and I remember my mum showing me a dress and all that. My mother's wrote. So this is the only sentence in there that doesn't say no off me dad. Andy's just joined us in the chat. Andy, I told this story to Andy on Sunday. Did you have any dances at school? And my dad's wrote, I went to an all-boys school. We had one dance, and the dinner ladies brought their daughters. Fucking hell! I just nearly fell off my chair. So many questions. Dinner ladies for our American and Canadian. Do you call them lunch ladies in America, possibly? Just the women, the old nanas with blue curly hair who come in to serve you your lunch. So I don't know how many daughters there were, what age the daughters were. But that's all he's consented to write in this death diary that my sister's given him. Is that they had one dance and the dinner ladies brought their daughters, Baz. Absolutely crippled me. And the rest of the page is just saying no, which is exactly what me and you and Andy and everyone else would write. Any thoughts on that, Baz?
I mean, yeah, exactly what you said. I wouldn't be play. It's just a little bit morbid, isn't it? Getting your parents to plan their own funeral speeches, like,
You'd think so, but my mother's really enjoying it. Like,
I mean, my mother's already wrote up loads of stuff and picked her music and everything like that. But it's a woman thing, isn't it?
After it is 100% a woman thing. There's just a huge, like you say, a huge difference between two of the main 7 genders that there are currently. Actually, the women's Euros I wanted to mention. I gave out Spain last week just as a complete aside. They won easy. They won 5-0 tonight. I had 2 winning bets in 2 nights, so I might start tweeting my picks out. But last night in the opening game, Switzerland, the home nation, Barry, they were getting beat. And the referee gave them a penalty. And the VAR was having a look at it. And the co-commentator said, "Oh, you'd be a brave referee to overturn this," talking about the crowd. And I just thought, it wasn't Fenerbahce Galatasaray, Barry. It was 34,000 Swiss women. Like, it was just the commentator said, "It'll be a brave referee that overturns this." I thought, why? What are they going to do? They just didn't give a shit.
Yeah, there's no toxic atmosphere at a women's football game. I've been to a few. It's a completely different atmosphere to the sort of febrile stuff you get in the Premier League or across Europe. I don't think it would be that intimidating. Like,
no, the referee did indeed overturn the penalty and had no Toblerones thrown at her or out like that. So,
as an aside, Germany would have been my pick. Germany at 5-1 would have been where I'd have went.
Okay. I just thought Spain was so much better than everyone else. I know they turned Portugal rubbish. They turned Portugal over 5-0 tonight, but there you go. Picks wise, obviously, I did the quarterfinals last time. I tell you what, because we've talked a lot of bollocks, let me crack on with a little bit of this Yankee dollar first. If you think you know ball, you have to enter the Circa football contest. 21 million in guaranteed prizes. No rake, so if entries go above the guarantee, all extra money will go to the prize pool. Circa Million, you pick 5 teams against the spread each week in the ultimate sweat in Circa Survivor. And then there's the Circa Grandissimo, which is a $100,000 Survivor contest. Good luck. You've got to register in person at a Circa Sportsbook in Nevada. Sign up in Nevada, play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com. Use promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. And we're brought to you by mybookie.ag, your place to bet on every sport, including the MLB, WNBA, golf, and football futures. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts. Using crypto, you can get round about 6-4 Spain over on mybookie.ag. Promo code is SGPN. That'll give you a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply. That's mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. So yeah, picks wise, Baz. I did the little solo special. I did all 8 games. 3 and 5 started well, hit the first 2, and then blanked 5 in a row. I'm starting to get in the fear and hit the last one. So sort of 6 units returned 8. It's probably the first losing show we've had on the Club World Cup, really. I'll go through them game by game as it happens. The first pick was a beauty. Our Brazilian correspondent, Tiger, even messaged me because it was the Palmeiras Botafogo half-time draw. We even called the half-time 0-0. Probably should have been a little bit braver on that one. The next one was incredibly fortunate. Benfica Chelsea took both teams to score. It was 1-0 in the 82nd minute before a 5-hour rain delay. They came back out to play the last 8 minutes and Benfica equalised in the 95th minute. That also helped me out because that then finished 4-1. And as I'm counting goals, what looked like a 1-0 game suddenly had 5 goals in it out of nowhere. So that was a touch. PSG to win and both teams to score. Miami made some chances, but they got duffed up. I picked Flamengo because I felt like I had to. I think that was a bad pick in hindsight. They just weren't up to the level of Bayern. Bayern were better than them. Inter and Fluminense, second half with the most goals, was a tie at 1-1. Kind of close. Manchester City to win and both teams to score. That was funny. Man City got knocked over. We might get onto that in a little while. And I picked Dortmund to win. So Dortmund were a winner. Real Madrid and both teams to score was a loser. Loads of saves in that, so slightly unfortunate. 3 and 5 was just about right. Did you watch any of this at all, Baz? Did you watch Man City get turned over?
I still haven't watched a single minute of this tournament, To be honest with you, I've got a feeling that you and the handful of people here are in a little bubble of your own, where you feel like everybody's watching it and talking about it. But I don't think that's the case. I've been away with 5 other blokes, and not one person's watched any of it or has any interest in it. Nobody was following the scores. We kept in touch with the under-21 stuff while we were there because England were playing Germany. And then I was away on a work trip yesterday with a couple of blokes, and again, never get to mention. I just don't see anybody talking about it other than when I come on this podcast. I don't know. Maybe I'm the one in the bubble. But yeah, I still not watched it. I read an article about it yesterday, about how much of a shambles a lot of it's been. Is it, practice run for the World Cup? It hasn't been a great practice, has it? They've had subs watching games in changing rooms because it's too hot. Apparently, Juventus complained that they had 10 players with heat exhaustion but could only sub 5 of them. And then, you got 6 games now with thunderstorm delays, 2-hour delays for Thunder. We had all the talk last year with Qatar, didn't we? There was a big fear about the heat in Qatar, and then it turned out to be nothing. There was no drama at all. But it seems like a lot of stuff hasn't gone great. So it hasn't been a great trial run. I've seen Klopp called it the worst ever idea in football.
You like Jurgen Klopp's opinion now, do you?
I was just about to say, not that I ever really take much notice of what he's got to say. And the only positive I can find, though, Malcolm, is I can't see any way this doesn't negatively impact on Man City and Chelsea. City must be quietly happy to have gone out and to be able to go and get a break. Chelsea could be sitting here for another 10 days yet. And bearing in mind, most Premier League teams are turning back up for training next week, pre-season. It's just astonishing to think we're still here playing club football in mid-July, sort of 6 weeks from the start of the season. Hopefully, Chelsea are absolutely fucked by October. But here, everyone's making loads of money from it, so it's all good.
Chelsea could change their starting 11 every 20 minutes for the entire season. We'll mention a couple of their new signings when we get to their game. You must
have players itching for a rest now, though. I know it's a bit different. World Cup, Euros, you would be doing the same. But it just feels a little bit different where every other Premier League team is now just having a rest and they're still mincing about in the 35-degree heat of America.
Yeah, definitely. We've said before that we'll have to somehow try and turn it to our advantage. You just don't know when they're going to get knackered, though, because they might be great August, September.
Yeah,
they might be ahead of everybody else. It might hit them in November, might hit them in January. We just don't know. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And that goes across the continent as well, by the way. Champions League-wise, PSG, not so much domestically for them, but then Madrid, Barcelona, Juve, Milan. All of those, massive advantage for Liverpool, you would have thought, and Arsenal, not playing in any of this.
Not Barcelona, I should add, because
the weather has been a bit freaky. It's not normally this bad. Joe's in the chat saying it is humid in the States, but it has been unseasonably hot. Obviously, I do the MLB show every night. Dylan was suicidal. Dylan's New York. He was suicidal with the heat the other day. There was 3 of the MLB games cancelled last night. So it's not normal, but then again, the environment is changing all the time. So this could be the new normal. So this time next year, it absolutely
great.
Could be the same thing. And just a goals update, Baz. We are 54 games gone, 9 left, 169 goals, Baz. We're up there. The Man City 4-3 was beautiful. What else did we have? I can't remember. Not important. 169, averaging 3.13 goals per game. So if we extrapolate that, Baz, we're getting to 197.76. And obviously the bet was 196. The line itself was 183. So we're going to piss past the line. 3 goals per game gets us up there. We're absolutely live and kicking. It's been a fun little ladder. I wish I'd taken a middle rung. I'll be honest, Baz. I went from the bottom rung to the top rung and just missed out all the ones in between. So I don't know if that's a ladder. Is there a name for that? It's more of a leap. It's a leap of faith, Barry, more than a little ladder. So that's that. Barry, do you have anything else to tell the people before we make some picks?
No, I'm itching to get into these Club World Cup picks. Bring it on.
Are you more itching or less itching than me to tell you about the shit guide, Doug?
I'd be more interested in the shit guide dog.
It's not a great story. I was at the lights, Baz, and I saw a shit guide dog. 2 light changes. It just sat there. Twice the green man come on, and twice it just sat there with the poor blind person at the bottom of Jesmond Road. So the traffic was busy anyway, so I wasn't getting through on the light changes, so I had plenty of time to digest. And I was like 3 from the front. Lights changed. The guide dog's just not bothered, just sitting there having a lovely time looking about. And you could see the blind person was like, what's the crap? Getting a bit discombobulated. So yeah, 2 light changes across Osborne Road. Shit guide dog, absolutely nothing. I really should have stayed for the finale of how it panned out, but I couldn't sort of turn round in that. I wish I had a final answer for you just to see what the total was.
I thought you were going to say you got out and helped the guy across the road, but no, obviously not.
Well, no, you're right. I didn't. I never crossed my mind, Baz, actually. He's got a guide dog, hasn't he? The story is a little bit similar, as Andy points out, to why did that kid leave his glasses in the pub with Kev Matthews? No one knows. Absolutely nobody knows. Right. FIFA Club World Cup. 8 p.m. kick-off. Who knows when it'll finish? Friday night. Friday the 4th of July, actually, by the way. So let's say happy 4th of July. We should have had some ticker tape in that bar, shouldn't we? All of that. Hot dog eating contest. You could have done that. To all our American listeners tomorrow, God bless America, etc. 3 p.m. Eastern Time sees Fluminense take on Al Hilal of Riyadh, where Fluminense are 7-4 plus 175. The draw 12-5 plus 240. Al Hilal 6-4 plus 150. I mean, Al Hilal going off favourites here, by the way. I know we handicapped them quite favourably at the start of the tournament. We like them to get out the group, which they did. They've subsequently knocked Man City off and go off favourites in a quarter-final here. Fluminense, excellent win against Inter Milan. Inter Milan did look cooked, by the way. Absolutely looked cooked in that game. But it was the perfect game script for Flu. It finished 2-0. They scored in the 3rd minute, defended like badgers, scored in the 90th minute. Weird set of games Fluminense have played. Twice they failed to score in the group matches. In the other game, they scored 4 times. And now they've knocked 2 past Inter. So 0-0, 2 and 4 isn't really very helpful. But they have kept 3 clean sheets in 4 games. The problem is, if you try to find a Fluminense clean sheet, is that Al Hilal have looked really lively. The 1-1 against Real Madrid, I think, was value for more goals. There was a missed penalty at the end, but both teams made a ton of chances. The 0-0 against Salzburg, like, you didn't see that game, Baz. If you look at that, you thought it's a 0-0. Fucking hell, it could have been 4-4. It was never, ever a 0-0, like. It was just end-to-end basketball match. Somehow finished 0-0. And then they beat Pachuca 2-0. And then they've had a 4-3 against City. Both have kept clean sheets. I thought that under 2.5 might be really good value. And if it was a huge price, I was going to take it. But it isn't. It's 4-5. The games I've watched between these teams have been really, really lively. I'm going to take both teams to score, Baz, at 4-5, minus 125.
Yeah, I mean, this is the fixture that looked probably least likely before the last round, didn't it? With Fluminense taking out Inter and Al Hilal knocking out Man City. The form line for the two of them, very similar, both 5 points from the 3 group games. Already mentioned they had similar knockout ties in the last round. But even in the groups, both started with a draw against a decent European side in Real and Dortmund. They've both got 3 clean sheets. No, sorry, 3 clean sheets for Fluminense, haven't they? Al Hilal have got 2. So the form line all looks very similar. I thought it looked a competitive one. I was immediately sort of more drawn to Al Hilal at first, just given their sort of strength of opponents in having beaten Man City and also getting that draw in the first round of games against Real Madrid. But Fluminense won't make it easy. You've mentioned their sort of clean sheets, their defensive side of things. They've managed to shut out both Dortmund and Inter, so the 2 strongest opponents they've come up against, they haven't conceded. And that drew me to the unders. Both sides went under 2.5 in 3 of their 4 games so far. That's a pick I like here. 4-5 for the under 2.5 goals. If I was going to pick a winner, I'd probably lean towards Al Hilal to qualify. I could see possibly needing extra time this one. Expect it to be a tight game, and that just pushed me away from taking Al Hilal in the 90 minutes. Again, it's about similar price, 3 to 4, maybe 4 to 5. But my main pick here will be the unders, under 2.5 goals at 4 to 5.
Interesting, Baz, because that's the pick that I had written down, and I kept looking at it and getting away from it. I think also because I want goals as well. I'm cheering on goals, so the under didn't appeal. I mean, the 1-1 draw will win it for both of us in that one. Our next game this is going to be a test of my enthusiasm for this tournament. 2 a.m. local time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Palmeiras take on Chelsea, 14 to 5 plus 280 for Palmeiras, 12 to 5 plus 240 Chelsea, and right 12 to 5 the draw. Sorry, Chelsea even money, Baz, plus 100.
Yeah, I mean, look at the sort of fixtures so far. I think we've got two teams here who haven't really been hugely tested in terms of who they've faced. When you compare that to the previous game, for example, Chelsea won the two that they were expected to win. They beat LA, they beat Esperance de Tunis, but were well beaten by Flamengo. Did need extra time against Benfica, so they haven't had it all their own way against the better opposition that they've faced. And so I think Palmeiras could be live here. They haven't been great either. They failed to beat Porto and failed to beat Inter Miami, and then beat Al Ahly Cairo, which you'd probably have expected. And again, like Chelsea, they needed extra time to get through their knockout tie. Positive for Palmeiras, the defensive record, 3 clean sheets in this so far from 4 games. And that was what stood out pre-tournament. They had 7 clean sheets in 9 coming into the tournament. So that's now 10 of their last 13 games where they've kept clean sheets. And it's that defensive record that I think will keep them in this one. Palmeiras' outsiders appealed to me a little bit here. But I thought it was safer to keep the draw on side. Palmeiras double chance at 4 to 5 is where I've gone.
Yeah, I've gone the complete opposite way, Baz. So I've got Chelsea. So you've got the draw on Palmeiras. I've gone completely the other way. Palmeiras have been good. My main issue with them is that they haven't faced the strongest of opposition. They drew with Porto. Porto were poor in this tournament. 2-0 against Al Ahly, nothing. 2-2 against Miami means nothing. 1-0 extra time win against Botafogo. They were probably the weakest of the Brazilian teams. The 2 times they've played, the best 2 teams they've played, they failed to score in those 2 games, 90 minutes, Botafogo and Porto. Now, Chelsea did lose to Flamengo, eventually saw off Benfica, having beaten, like you say, two poor teams comfortably. I'm just starting to doubt the form of the Brazilian teams, actually. After like about 10 days of this tournament, everyone was having a little tug, saying, oh, the Brazilian teams are showing out. So, well, actually, they did start with a load of enthusiasm, and that's waned a little bit. We saw Flamengo go down, Fluminense outsiders against Al Hilal. Chelsea added João Pedro this week, which was good because they were looking a little bit thin on the ground. He's gone out there. I didn't even get the fact that they've signed him, fair enough. But did he have to go out there and play these games? Could he not just hang on over here?
Just go and have a rest. Well, I think he'd been in Brazil or something, hadn't he? And
anyway,
who knows? If they win this game, they'll get another 20 million, Malcolm, and they'll sign another one. Just keep every round they go through, they'll probably just sign another striker or another forward.
Well, I think Chelsea can beat them, is the short answer. So no help to anyone. I've got Chelsea. Baz has got the other 2 options. So pay your money and take your choice.
You might want to follow the bloke who's been watching the games.
No, you might not. There's a lot of talk in the chat here about cards in these games, in the Al Hilal game. Both teams to have a red, 70 to 1. Both teams to have a red in both games, 4,330 to 1. I have got a card play that I wanted to mention, but I can't find it. USA take on Mexico in the CONCACAF Gold Cup final in 1 hour and 22 minutes. It kicks off. Scott Reichel from the tennis gambling podcast, messaged me this morning seeing if I could find a cards market for him. And I'm looking right now, and it's not priced up. They've absolutely bottled it. The bookies. At least give us the option. Set it at 7.5 if you want, and we can go under. But give us a chance. Do you know what I mean? Any red card was what Scott was after, because apparently these two teams absolutely hate each other, and they're going to kick 7 bells. And maybe the bookies know that. But like I say, grow up here. And if you can find it, I haven't checked Sky Bet yet, so I'll have a look at that. But if you can find a red card option on that game, try and get involved. When I done that solo show last week, Barry, I had cause to watch it back for about 7 minutes later on. And I've noticed, I think I've got fucking worms. I can't sit still, Baz. Have you noticed this? Because you haven't told me. Like, I know I'm quite an itchy man, generally speaking, but I'm taking my socks off. I'm scratching my head. I've got my fucking armpit. I'm looking out the way. Like, and it was annoying to watch. The laptop was wobbling. The camera's wobbling. Now, I know it's because it was my big head on the big screen because you weren't there. And it was just barely watchable. So I've had to make a note to myself to try and sit still. And I just caught myself there picking my pencil up off the floor and then like scratching my face and picking my nose and stuff like that. I just need to sit still, Barry. I need to sit still. I'm going to learn from that. I'm going to sit still and tell you all about Underdog, Best Ball Mania, scratch me head, happening all summer long and giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Use our promo code PLGP to claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code PLGP. And you've heard us talk about Rhythm before. They just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends, AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model is consistently won and has a high ROI. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. Get your 7-day free trial, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Has anyone found me a red card pick? Who's these American people? Yes, when's Joe? Joe Dollar's telling us something, but that game's on Sunday. Is that the Mexico game? Oh, I've turned it off now. Joe, go and find us a red card. But
he said he can't find it on his either.
All right, okay. Yeah, they've absolutely bottled that. Like, that's horrendous. Bastards. Saturday tea time early. This is going to be hot. 5 o'clock kickoff, so midday Eastern. PSG take on Bayern Munich. PSG are 6-5, plus 120. 13-5 the draw, plus 260. And Bayern Munich at 21-10, plus 210. PSG, they've kind of fooled you into thinking they've been largely impressive in this competition. They had that 4-0 opening day win against Atletico, which was very, very eye-catching, especially on the back of them smashing up the Champions League final 5-0. That was a while ago now. Seattle and Miami were meaningless MLS opposition, and they lost to Botafogo. So not a particularly strong form line, but a real similar mixed bag from Bayern Munich. 1-0 defeat to Benfica, 4-2 win against Flamengo. So really quite hard to read. I handicapped this on that eye test, Barry, because I say watched all the games and they've all been wide open. It just screams goals. So I'm going to punt first half goals in this one, Baz. Over 1.5. It might even be the angle in before everyone gets hot and knackered, by the way, and starts walking around in the second half. Over 1.5 first half goals is 6-5, plus 120. Both teams to score in the first half. If we're going over 1.5 first half goals, it's very possible they both get one. That's 5-2, plus 250. So, yeah, first half goals is my angle, Bat.
Yeah, I like the goals as well. Both teams saw 3 wins, 1 loss so far. PSG losing to Botafogo, Bayern losing to Benfica. Though Bayern's defeat, I think, worth pointing out, was with them having already secured qualification in their group. PSG got 3 clean sheets in the other 3 games for them, though. But 2 of them come against MLS sides. They brushed aside Atletico in the group stage as well. But the MLS clean sheets, not really. That doesn't really factor in much against the Bayern Munich team, who have got plenty of goals in them. I mean, the Atletico game could be seen as a good comparison. They did shut them out, but I'm just not sure if they can keep Bayern out. I do think they might have too much for them. Business end of the tournament now, and having taken PSG to win it, I obviously have to fancy them here. I like PSG at 6-5, but where I would rather go with it is the team total. Like you, I think there will be goals. And the safer pick I thought was PSG to score 2 or more. It's 4-5. Now they've covered that 2 or more line in 8 of their last 9 games, covering the end of the season and into this tournament. That includes games against Inter, put 5 past Inter. Arsenal, Atletico, put 4 past them. They almost always get 2. So I like PSG to score 2 or more at 4-5. I'm going to take them on 3 or more as well at 5-2.
Okay, that was quite an abrupt end into that sentence, Barry. I thought you had more things to say, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Bob D has joined us. Hiya, Bob. Says they're playing in the Dome in Atlanta, which doesn't put me off. That means they'll be nice and cool, so they can run around and score loads of goals. Goals galore in that one.
We've got a little update on Crown Talk earlier on.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Patrick Backus has sent me a couple of screenshots. If you're watching the YouTube in the chat, some people have got little crowns next to them. Lee Smith has a number 1 crown. Michael Roberts is currently number 2. I think, Malcolm, what it might be is you talk about getting show points. I reckon people are getting points for either turning up, chatting. Call me chatting because Andy Williams got no points. Maybe the thumbs up. I don't know how many people have given a thumbs up, but
I never.
Lee Smith, Michael Roberts, and Cree are in the top 3 at the moment. So yeah, you better start chatting or leaving thumbs up if you want to keep your show points in order.
Holy shit! I did not know that. That's exciting.
Someone, if Andy,
can you see them on the avatars?
If Andy could press the thumbs up, I'll see if he appears on the list shortly. But yeah, at the moment, Lee's number 1.
Oh, that's tremendously exciting. Bit of extra competition. You say Bob knows everything, man. It's a good job you're here, Bob. Bob's been the unofficial now producer of the show because he said that this started last night. We still don't know what it is, Bob. If you can type that out, that would be tremendously helpful as well. You can stick around, Bob. We need you. One more game to get to. I can't believe you've had 4 games out to 43 minutes, Barry, and you haven't watched any of them. 9 o'clock on Saturday evening, 4 Eastern time. Real Madrid take on Borussia Dortmund. Real Madrid 13-20, minus 153. 16-5 the draw, plus 320. Dortmund 15-4. In fact, Dortmund are out to 4-1 now. Drifted a little bit, Baz.
Yeah, this could be a decent one. 2 teams who top the group, but definitely groups in which you would expect them to top the group. Ones where they were very much favourites to do so. But both unbeaten, both 2 clean sheets from the 4 games. Both went 2-2 to the over and under, so it wasn't anything splitting that market either. I like the Borussia form, including the pre-tournament form. They're now unbeaten in 11 games and won 9 of their last 10. Finished really strongly to the end of the season. And though they haven't really made light work of anyone in this, I did expect them to make easier work of the group they had. That's why I took Guirassy as my top scorer. Although he's only 1 behind, he's sitting on 3 with about 15 other people in the golden boot market. It's tight as anything, that one. But I did think the group stage and an easy knockout game would have helped him out a bit more. But yeah, they haven't made easy work of them, but they've been efficient enough. They'll have to step up, obviously, to get through this one, you would expect. But I'm giving them a chance here. Real as well are unbeaten. But looking at sort of how they finished the season, several defeats in the bigger games. Barcelona beat them in the league and the cup. Arsenal beat them twice. Atletico got a second leg win in the Champions League. So in the latter part of the season, before getting to this tournament, they have shown some vulnerabilities. And it's just whether there's still that little chink in the armour for Real Madrid. I think we might see goals. I certainly think Dortmund will get on the score sheet. I like both teams to score and over 2.5. Don't mind that pick at all at 10 to 11. So that'll be my main pick. I'll take the over 2.5 and both teams to score. But I don't mind Dortmund as an underdog. I think we might get a bit of a surprise here. If I was going to take a dog in this round, I'll be taking Dortmund at 4-1.
I looked at the over 2.5 and BTTS bars, but it was a bit shorter than that. Maybe it's eased a little bit. I had it about 7 to 10. But I think Madrid have eased in the market here as well. I made my notes in pencil for the first time ever. And I can't read the fucking things. Like, I've got my little phone light on here, and it's just sort of shining straight through what I'm trying to say. Real have been okay. Draw against Al Hilal. Comfortable wins against Pachuca and Salzburg. Beat Juventus 1-0. That game was absolutely wide open, actually. Both goalies made an absolute ton of saves. Dortmund they're just a mixed bag completely. 0-0 Fluminense, 4-3 the Sundowns, 1-0 Ulsan, 2-1 Monterrey. The eye test, again, Baz, I keep saying it, they just screams goals again. They played each other in the early stages of the Champions League, if you remember. Game finished 5-2. And then I had a look for some comp games from the back end of the season. Dortmund comps Barcelona 3-1, 4-0, 3-2 against Real, 3-2 and 3-1 against Manchester City. Real played Man City, finished 3-1 and 3-2. So all of these big games, it's just been raining goals, 4 or 5 goals. So my main play is going to be the over 3.5 goals at 11 to 8 plus 137. And actually, because I like the both teams to score in the first half at PSG, I want to double it up with the both teams to score in the first half here. So that's a 12 to 1 little 2-teamer or a little 2-leg parlay. Both teams to score in the first half in PSG Bayern and Madrid versus Dortmund. Baz, anything to add on those 4 fixtures? Have you got a little parlay, ladder? Nothing like that. You haven't bothered, have you?
No, nothing like that. If I get a chance, I'll try and watch a game this weekend.
Have a look. Right, yeah, why not?
It depends. I've got a busy weekend. My weekend, this is the off-season now for football, isn't it? Saturday morning, one of the kids is at a tournament in Derbyshire, and they want us to be there for 8 o'clock. It's an hour's drive. You think I'm getting out of bed at 7 o'clock? The first game isn't until 10 o'clock, and they're asking them to turn up at 8. I'm like, no chance. See you at 9 o'clock. So yeah, Derbyshire 1 hour that way. Sunday, Chloe's team are playing in Lincolnshire 1 hour that way, over in Louth. And that starts at like 9:30, so that's going to be another early start. So I've got 2 full days of kids' football tournaments this weekend. That's my Saturday.
There's no off-season at all, Baz.
No.
We've had a game last night, training tonight, district trials tomorrow, game on Sunday, county trials next week. All sorts of things going on. Just there's no downtime at all. The final thing, Barry, to talk about. Go on, mate. You look pregnant with something to say.
I was going to say, I've seen how many counties I can rattle through this week because I was in Bristol yesterday for a work meeting. First time I've ever been to Bristol. I didn't see any of it. I just got off the train, went to the office, went to a meeting. Quickest way back from Bristol to Nottingham, you reckon? Which way do you go?
Driving?
No, on a train.
Birmingham New Street, then
Birmingham
direct.
New Street, obviously, yeah. So you go through Birmingham New Street, gets on the train, sits on the train, announcement comes on. Birmingham New Street, down, it's gone, it's finished. It's not
down.
It's not going for any time soon. So you can sit on this train if you want, but we've no idea when we're going to leave. And then about half an hour later, they said, you can get off this train if you want, because it's going to move, but it's only going to go 1 stop down the road. It's going to stop at Bristol Parkway, and you'll be stranded in Bristol Parkway. So I didn't fancy that. So my only option was to go via London. So traveling all the way to Bristol took me 3 hours. And then coming back, I had to get 2-hour train into London just to get another 2-hour train north back up towards Nottingham. So that was a bit of a shambles.
Yeah, sounds like a shambles, Barry. Your carbon footprint is absolutely massive. I've saved the biggest news, Barry, till last on the show. I have got the replacement for battleships, Barry. I had to take the van to the garage yesterday, which led me wandering up and down Gosforth High Street for about 2 hours. And And I went in every charity shop along there just to try and find some clothes and that, you know me. And I found this, Barry. If people can't see, if you're listening to the podcast, this is Kickoff football board game by MB Games from 1981, Barry. Cost me the princely sum of £1.99. And it's the greatest thing. Right, Bob hasn't turned his Xbox on since we got this. Like, none of your Xbox shite. He's bang into this. It's a card game. It's a board game. It's beautiful. We can slow play this all season, Barry. We could play this till the Champions League final, and it could finish 0-0. It's going to drive people fucking berserk. Now, the only thing is because it's a card-based game, we're going to have to deal your cards and then take photos of them and send them to you so you know what you've got. So I'm going to have to set up a separate chat, probably off one of the kids' phones, where they send you
post them to me.
Because you got to play them, then pick up. I'm not posting. I'm not picking up every day. Like, do you know what I mean? Every show I'd have to post one to you. I could do. It's bring it proper fuck on. Well, it's either that or we do it digitally. Do you know what I mean? What you need basically, every time you play one, this is what I thought. When you played one, you can then just delete that picture off your WhatsApp chat. Do you know what I mean? So you should only ever have 8 pictures, which is your 8 cards, and then and then the board. So I need to take you through the rules, Baz, but we'll do that off air. You know, these people have got things to do. They haven't got time to listen to this shit. So I'll take you through the rules, and then we'll play. But it could very much be just 1 week I'll just knock the ball up the left wing, 20 yards, and then you'll knock it back 20 yards, and then that'll be it till the next show. So, and everyone can bet on it. I mean, I thought we could play USA v England in the build-up, the first build-up to next year's World Cup. Something like that. Yeah. Lee's absolutely right when he says he can see this working smoothly. The only thing, Barry, is you need to commit, right? That you have to pledge to trust me. Now, I know generally speaking, that's not a great idea. And I wouldn't recommend it under normal circumstances. I wouldn't recommend anyone trust me with much. But if you, in any way, if you question what's going on at any point in the game, it's going to devalue the entire game. So if we're going to play, you have to pledge that I don't know what cards you've got. I've never looked at the, like I say, I'll have to get Bob to send you the things because I don't want the photos on my phone. If you can pledge that, then we're in business. If you can't, then, I mean, how do you feel?
Sounds like a bit of a shambles, to be honest. I mean, you know. Having to trust you is a thing anyway. But yeah, we'll give it a go. I mean, you see that
I can then post the board on Twitter and that every week, you see. I can post the pitch so people can see where the ball is. See? So you can see where the ball is every week, and I'll just slide it back under the sofa, like we used to do with the game of Risk. I'll slide it back under the sofa, and then people will know where we are, stuff like that. So yeah, there you go. The chat is absolutely buzzing with excitement at the prospect of this long-distance 1981 board game, Barry. They can barely contain themselves. 54 minutes for 4 football matches that you're not interested in. That's quite impressive. Barry, do you have anything to tell the people before we let them go?
Yeah, one more thing.
Yes, come on.
No, it's not that funny. I'm just excited to get to bed tonight, and it's not because I'm on a promise or anything like that.
Steady on, Baz. On a Thursday.
So can you think of another reason why I might be excited?
Excited to get to bed. New pajamas?
No, not pajamas. I don't wear pajamas.
New. What might you have that's new? You're not in a different room. Oh, have you put the summer bedspread on? No, that's something on my last. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Pillows, Malcolm.
New pillows.
Oof, goose feather pillows, Malcolm. Not just any pillows. We've got goose feather on the go, haven't we? Oh, I can't wait. I just snuggle my massive head into those. It's gonna be. I bought myself 2 pillows. I didn't get Helen any, so we've now got a bed with her 2 shitty pillows.
So he's got all the shit pillows.
And I've got me 2 big, massive goose feather pillows to snuggle into.
Tory pillows.
Excited.
That's you. By the way, what a fucking great name for a band that is. We had some band chatting earlier on. Tory pillows, I think they were on a Glastonbury last week. Very good, Barry. I've enjoyed that. I've doubly enjoyed the fact you've left your last with the shit pillows, which is a very good nickname as well. Excellent, good show. Eased you back into it. Don't know what we're going to do next week with only semi-finals, etc. But thanks to everyone who's in the chat. You can all go and start fighting over your purple crowns now. You've all got something to play for. God, the jeopardy in this show's gone absolute through the roof. Purple crowns up for grabs. The kick-off game will start next week. Thank you all for joining us. It's been emotional. Good luck with your bets. Hands are going in the air, Barry. And we will see you all down the road. Cheers.